Let's talk a little bit about degens and what crypto connections are and how it all ties into politics. You guys are going to love this one today. We've got a special guest. It will be fun. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back into Tech Path. Before we get started, I want to thank our sponsor, and that is Tangem. Self-custody wallets are the way to go. It's one of the best ways for you to get started in crypto. Maybe this is your first time to say, well, maybe I need to move my tokens off of a centralized exchange and take a look at self-custody. Well, Tangem is the route to take. Go over and visit that, just tangem.com. Make sure and hit that Get Tangem. This, of course, is going to get you a secure wallet set up. You can use this along with your app, and it is one of the best ways I have seen out there to start actually doing your own self-custody of your crypto. So check it out. You guys will love it. Use our code. You get a 10% off. Let's go into a few things. And of course, I want to welcome back into the show, Miss Jackie Dutton. Great to have you back. How are you, Jackie?
I'm great. I'm looking forward to a fun 4th of July this week. How about you?
Hot dogs, hamburgers, and Joe Biden steps aside. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I've got some stuff for you. One, I want to lead off with Mr. Vitalik Buterin. He's talking about prediction markets and community notes are becoming the two flagship social epistemic technologies, epistemic technologies of the 2020s. Truth-seeking and democratic. I like this because when you look at Polymarkets, we've shown this a couple of times. You look at the growth of Polymarket, not bad for active users and traders just in the last little bit. And we have a whole clip on this, but have you checked out Polymarket yet?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really love it.
Are you making any bets?
You know, the second something happened. No, but I really wish I would have taken the one about Joe Biden dropping out, because just a week and a half ago, it was like at 6%.
Yeah, now it's like at 38. We'll show that in a second. Yeah. I want to get into this today because this is a good one. It's a clip that I want you to listen to and kind of give me your opinion on it. Let's go ahead and cut to the clip.
Okay. We're in.
All right, I don't think he's gonna say crack, dude. That's not happening. I'm betting no.
Citizens began. When Putin saw that, he said,
"Oh, Putin!
You know,
Putin! We got Putin! Putin!
Israel would have never."
Is Israel? Oh, Israel!
Never heard so much malarkey in my whole life.
Malarkey!
First person on this stage is a convicted felon.
Hey, convicted felon! Is
that bingo? We just got a live bingo.
Convicted felon.
Congratulations.
All right. Well, this is fun. I mean, you know, when you're dealing with politics and degens at the same time, it's a natural evolution that we're seeing. And of course, bam, there you have it. Biden drops out of presidential race. The percentage right now, 39%. So what do you think is going to be the case? I think you're right. It was like 22% on the 25th, and here we are on July 1st, starting to come back up here at about a 39%. What's your opinion on this? You think this guy is going to drop?
Oh, man. Well, I do know the impact on the meme coins that are like kind of around this. The meme coins took a really bad hit if they had anything even remotely to do with Biden. So this, I just think this is so fun. It's like squares, you know, around Super Bowl time. It's just degen fun behavior, you know, and I hope no one's taking this too seriously. But occasionally I see someone make incredibly large leveraged bets that they probably should not.
Listen, you could buy this one right now, 39 cents. So maybe we get a 1X on this potentially. But there are some other ones that are lined up within this. I want to also get into the idea of whether or not Joe Biden could step away from the race, because that's going to be one of the big bets here. One of the key dates that we're looking at is this date right here for Georgia. This is July 9th, when it's the last day for an independent and a political body candidate for president, MVP, to file a nomination petition. So this is kind of the day that Biden would have to make the decision of, yes, I'm running, or no, I'm not running. So where are you in the camp right now in terms of Biden stepping out of the race?
I don't see how he can without them opening the door to the 25th Amendment right now. They have too much to lose moving forward, because if you admit that he's not fit to run in the next term, you then are admitting that he's actually not fit to be president right now. So then you open the door for Kamala and everything else.
I feel like he could get away with this, okay? I think if he came out and said, listen, I've considered, I want to be a patriot. I want to, a strong statement, get a little bit of juiced up Joe in there. play a nice sub line of beautiful, music that's coming behind it.
Bullshit.
You remember when? Yeah. I think he could pull it off. And then you go to an open convention, and he's got to do it. Here's my prediction: Biden steps out of the race this week. He's out. Don't know who's coming in, but he's out.
I don't think he does.
Okay, all right. Well, you got it. Me and you are on the other sides here. Here's the reason: you got to look at the 2020 presidential results, okay? And looky there, boom, Georgia. And if you look at where we are right now, I mean, that alone should tell you, this is currently, this is what the Electoral College, so no toss-up states right now. Pretty much this is already done before it's even started. So why wouldn't you not risk it as a Democratic Party to say, our candidate's toast anyway, let's go ahead and put Mr. Newsom in?
Okay, look, as a native Californian, let me tell you, there are a lot of people who fled that state in the last 5 years because of his, the way that he's mishandled everything about California. So I just don't see that Gavin Newsom's chances are better. I
want to play this one because this is an important clip, I think, from Mike Novogratz, because this is important to the crypto community.
It was the worst debate in presidential history.
From the donor class perspective, to the degree you think it has any influence over the future nominee, do you believe that there's a crowd of people that are going to this president and saying, we're not giving you money, we're not voting for you? What's going to happen here?
I know there is. There is a bunch of donors that are furious, that are trying to use all their levers of pressure they can. It's time for Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer and other senior Democrats to start speaking out and putting pressure on them, because otherwise we're going to lose. It doesn't feel like a smart strategy when 72% of the American public says, we think you're too old to run for president. That's not 72% of Republicans, it's 72% of the electoral base.
So, Mike, were you just willing to go along with it before Thursday, or?
No, Joe, I have been.
Okay, you haven't wanted him for a while, but you've been giving money to him.
I have not given Joe Biden any money on this in this 4 years. I gave him money last time. Listen, this term I've given money to Democrats and Republicans, right? I mean, I need to support the crypto industry as well as the rest of my beliefs.
That's what I was going to go with it. As a guy in the crypto business, one of the things that's been fascinating is to see former President Trump come out quite publicly as an advocate for crypto regulation. Has that switched your view of him?
Get with the program, Get with the program. You're a businessman. You're a businessman.
Crypto should be bipartisan and needs to be bipartisan. We can't have one party that likes us and the other party that doesn't. And I would tell you that most Democrats, outside of Elizabeth Warren and a small group of people, are pretty pro-innovation and pro-crypto. And so it's been unbelievably frustrating. That said, that's all shifting. And you can listen, no matter who wins the next election, we're going to get positive crypto legislation. I know that.
Based on that, Jackie, you've got Joe Biden at 67. This is the current incumbent at 67%. And then, of course, we don't know who else. Could be, Gretchen Whitmer. You even have Michelle Obama in here. And then, of course, your favorite person of all, Mr. Newsom, right there at the bottom. I'm going to take this bet. I'm going to go with the 5.9. I'm going to put that bet out there on Polymarket right now because look at what that pays. It pays 94.2. I mean, come on. That's degen territory. We got to go there.
That is degen gambling rules 101. Get this 1000x from here?
Go for the most abstract and go for it. I'm going for it. Okay, you guys heard it right here on PBN exclusives. I'm going for Newsom to come in with a 10x opportunity. Here's Jake Tapper, CNN, grilling the Biden campaign. Listen in.
Everybody has a bad night.
So, with all due respect, it is not honest to say that this is just one night.
Secretary, I'm not sure I'm going to introduce you all the way.
That doesn't trouble me at all, Jake. Frankly, you can put up a dozen clips of me, of you, of anybody who's on TV, who speaks publicly all the time.
And I don't think it's fair to compare you or me losing our train of thought with whatever we saw on the debate stage on Thursday and that little clip from 2 weeks ago. But let me move on to one other question. The Biden campaign wrote in an email this weekend, quote, we'd switch to candidates who would, according to polls, be less likely to win than Joe Biden, the only person ever to defeat Donald Trump, unquote. Then the email goes on to show polling from, to be honest, partisan pollsters that shows Vice President Harris, Governor Gavin Newsom, Pete Buttigieg, and how they match up. Now, to be frank, they're only 1 percentage point behind Joe Biden in those head-to-head matchups with Donald Trump. So it does not actually look as though there would be that much of a difference between the guy who has been president for 3+ years and has been spending tens, hundreds of millions of dollars running as a Democratic nominee and the people who haven't even been running.
What's your question, Jake?
How does that make your point?
Jake, I may be missing something. You're asking me to explain and defend an email that I didn't author or send out.
Let me just ask you, do you truly think that President Biden is the strongest candidate to take on Donald Trump in November?
I think Joe Biden, two things, is the strongest, most accomplished president we've had in my lifetime.
Not the question.
That he's been going up. We are headed in a strong direction. And he's got a great platform to run for re-election. He is not the only Democrat who can run for president. That's not what I'm saying.
All right, so there you have it. I mean, CNN, which has been very favorable to Biden in the past, of course, did not throw him a lifeline. If he stays in the race, could he do anything that would maybe at least win the crypto crowd? What would be one thing he could do to win the crypto crowd?
He'd have to fire Gary Gensler himself. And Gary Gensler would have to go at this point. I think that would be it.
All right. Well, that's the point I believe we're hitting on. Crypto takes its fight with the SEC directly to Biden and Trump. And a couple of points here in this article I want to showcase right here. In recent weeks, crypto investors raised several names of potential nominees for the SEC commissioner. In the event that Trump is elected second term, according to 3 people of knowledge, this is going to be a Giancarlo, Heath Tarbert. Remember Giancarlo, this guy right here, he's been on our show before. This is the past CFTC guy. Then you've got another name that's come up is Dan Gallagher. And he served as an SEC commissioner under Obama. And this guy now works for, guess who? Robinhood. There's an in right there. I mean, that would be a Democrat replacing a Democrat while he's in office to try to win the crypto vote, maybe?
I think that would certainly spice up the war between Robinhood's emerging crypto and Coinbase. All of a sudden this going to be more favorable towards Robinhood?
Remember, we have this crypto roundtable they're doing. You got Cube and Rokana. It's very critical. If he doesn't step down, then, that probably goes through. If he steps down, obviously, that's going to get canceled. My assumption is it would get canceled. But do you think that this is going to give him any kind of credibility with the crypto community by executing on this roundtable? I guess we'd have to see the results, but what are your thoughts on it? None at all?
If his conversation is anything like that debate, I don't know what any of them would hope to actually get out of it. Yeah. He can barely recall his own facts and things that he was there to speak about, let alone completely understanding the crypto industry in a 1-hour meeting.
Yeah, for sure. I want to flip over to a little bit of what's happening in the meme coin community, some of the things that are starting to see. And we've seen a little bit of action here recently. Pumped Off Fund overtakes Ethereum, $2 million in daily revenue to take the #1 position. How long does this hold, Jackie? What are your thoughts on this?
I don't think this holds much past the ETF. Yeah, but it's fun. It's just speculation at the end of the day with Pumped Up Fun.
You got this right here. I mean, come on, Solana meme coin Billy. This is one I'm starting to look at just because of that puppy. This is what's going to win. This thing got 100 million in market cap. So Billy becomes, what are they saying? Billy becomes a Billy. A couple other ones. Bonk is starting to take a move right here. I'm looking at the all-time, but if you take a look at the month, it's starting to come off of that bottom.
I like Base just because I think on-chain summer being around, the ability to text people a token, very interesting as far as that Coinbase wallet is concerned. And that only happens with the Base tokens. Although Blinks coming out very strong.
We're going to talk about
that. I think ultimately Coinbase is very much king of the castle in the US, but Solana, I think, seems to have a lot more worldwide degen activity.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought Mog's rise was interesting recently with Mog. So they seem to be ticking back up.
Another big mover that we've seen, and I'll show you the chart on this, Helium Mobile comes in. They've got this crazy promotion where they're doing 32 random subscribers are going to get gifted 5,000 in mobile token. And this is going to happen every hour or so. Is that what the way I think it was playing out? So this is pretty significant. If you look at the chart right now on mobile token, this is mobile token right here, and starting to see a 1x return right here just in a handful of days. If you look at memes right now, would you still crown Solana as meme coin champion?
Yes, just because it spurred all that activity from December and onward, definitely, and it remains that way.
Of course, I'll get a bunch of hate in the comments because they're always, I'm the ultimate.
All you talk about,
Solana,
I see that one.
Solana Foundation head of ecosystem engineering, talking about actions and Blinks, and of course, for some of you may not be aware of what Blinks and actions are. Basically, it's a way to engage inside social media and be able to create activities on blockchain. But there are some limitations on Blinks. You've got to go in and add this dialect Blinks. And then when you get in and actually use this one, this is one where someone doesn't have the widget there. If you do that, then it's going to take you off site. And this essentially is going to how you would engage with that. Do you think this picks up? Do you feel like that's too clunky for it to really get mass adoption?
Yeah, if I sent this to people in my family, like my aunts, and I was like, here's this link, here's some crypto, and it's just this Connect wallet, but they're going to be like, what is this?
I want to jump over because this is Corey from Honeyland. He's been on our show a couple of times. If you guys haven't checked out Honeyland, it's a game on Solana, one of the original games on the first saga that ended up doing some airdrops on it. But here's Corey talking about Blinks and his opinion. Take a look.
And so I was like, cool, how do I do this? So I went to start building. And I have like a full document guide of like, I'm sorry, but like if this is how I go get a link created to be able to share this, it's impossible. Their video is like, we're now bringing Web3 to everybody in the world. And it's like, no, you're not. You're literally bringing it to somebody who already has a Phantom wallet with a Solana account tied to it, with USDC on Sol, or Sol on Sol, that's gone to their Phantom settings and selected this thing. Like, you're talking to like most degen Web3 Solana maxis are the people who can do this, and the only people who can use it are the people who don't need it. And so it's more of a solution looking for a problem than the other way around. Transparency, I've never logged into or done anything with Farcaster. So
So, he mentioned Farcaster right there at the end. Farcaster known for, true native Web3. Do you think it's going to take a Farcaster to win the social component, or do you think someone like a Meta or even an X with Elon figures this out?
Yeah, it's always going to be easier to go to the source of, you bring the watering hole to the group, the herd, as opposed to, or just go over the one where they already are, is what I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to have a Biden moment, but they, when everybody's already standing around, it's much easier to hand things out than it is to be on the other side of the room and be like, come over here and try this.
Of course, if Farcaster continues this kind of growth, I was looking at their chart right here. That's pretty good growth right there, Jackie. If this gets going, it's still a little bit flat. We haven't seen, we need to see that, the little jet take off. That's when you have something going out there for sure. All right, other things right here. This is kind of cool right here. Paying on Warpcast is an example of being able to do it. It's pretty slick as it is right now. This gets back to the whole argument of native. I think we have a little bit of a ways to go for sure. What are you watching this week that you think we need to be keeping an eye on? No tokens, but just in general, any kind of news right now, whether it's political or something that is leaning heavy into the degen community?
Well, definitely the ETH ETF approval after the 4th of July holiday, for sure. And then obviously the Democratic nominee. I did see today they just postponed Trump's sentencing, though. So they're delaying the outcry that would come from trying to do that.
Oh, well, that would only get him another 100 million, most likely. That's probably what it would do. It'd pour in more campaign fire for the Republicans that these guys. All right, Jackie, when we come back on this one, we're going to have a new Democratic nominee. And
okay. It's Newsom, your Polymarket bets up.
I will win my Polymarket bet. and everything's going to be great, in DJ land. All right.
Yeah.
We'll catch you next time. Thanks for coming in today. We appreciate it.
Bye.
All right. So you guys, if you're not in the Diamond Circle, get in that. It's a great place to get additional content. We got some really cool things, in fact, coming in on the Diamond Circle. We're getting ready to launch our communities on the Diamond Circle, which we have never had before. We've had to use these third-party apps like Slack and Telegram and all that kind of stuff that is kind of risky out there for our users. So we've been able to build that into our platform. You guys will be getting notices over there on how to get engaged on it. We're going to be doing some cool things over there. That's also where we'll drop a lot of our content. So get ready for some big changes over there. If you're not part of the Diamond Circle, get in right now. We'll leave a link down below. Click that and join. If you're not following me on X, do that as well. It's just @PaulBaron. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.